Good morning. Good morning. Happy morning to everybody, and welcome to the Fear to Freedom Project. I'm really excited today because I am bringing up Chef Naija, the Naija Goddess. She is here to join us today. I'm going to bring her to the stage. Just one second. Yes, there she is. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome, Chef, the
hey,
Naija
good
Goddess.
morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. This is a new channel for me, and I have invited, and you put the call out there, and you came. So I am so grateful for you coming.
Thank you. I'm fortunate to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. So I want to read your bio to everyone. This is tell me.
Isangedighi.
Isangedighi, the
Yep.
founder of Naija Goddess Incorporated. It's a health and wellness clinic that provides holistic education about natural remedies and food as medicine that is easy to understand, implement through personalized coaching, online videos, and culinary education. Before devoting her time to the Naija Goddess Health and Wellness Clinic as a certified holistic nutritionist and certified herbalist, Annie worked as a pastry chef and caterer. In addition to her kitchen prowess, Annie has a burgeoning online apothecary and dispensary where she further supports her clients with natural remedies and supplementation needed to quickly achieve client health goals. Naija Goddess is well established within the local community as a source for a natural approach to healthy living. Naija uses an integrative approach to both diet and lifestyle changes to improve the health of her clients. Working as a guide towards an overall healthier life, Naija analyzes her clients' nutrition, patterns, relationships, physical fitness, spirituality, and more to maximize desired health results for them. Let's welcome Naija Goddess. Yes, 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 yes. You are providing a holistic approach to eating here, and I appreciate it. So I want to just let everybody know how I met you. I was over at for CMS. I was doing a welcome for new social workers, and I stopped eating meat in January. So I'm Googling vegan. I knew I didn't even, I wasn't, listen, I was not practicing being a vegan. I just didn't eat meat. It wasn't that I had eliminated dairy. So I knew, like, okay, they're going to have something. And it took me to Love and Action Cafe on Tuckasegee. So I came over there and got me a fried mushroom sandwich with some fries. It was good. And I saw you guys. You invited me back saying, hey, it's a vegan cooking class. And that was 7 weeks ago. I think I only missed one.
Yeah.
I actually came with my mother one time and
Good.
then was on the TV. So you have really, really, really impacted me in such an amazing way. And I'm just so glad that you came to share with the audience. So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
What inspired you to become a chef? Not a vegan chef, but a chef.
Oh, well, I can that's a story, a little bit of a story. I'll keep it short. My entire life I was sick. And so all of my childhood pictures are me in the hospital. I'm all cute and bow-legged and sick in the hospital. And it was kind of like my normal, I suppose. Like, okay, Annie's just a sickly child. And as I got into my teenage years, everything I ate, I was always having anaphylactic responses to, and I always had to have an EpiPen. And when I got a little bit older and I got into college, I said, you know what? I need to go to culinary school so I know what's in the food because I had this long list of food allergies at the time. And I just want to know what's in food.
Mm.
So I went to culinary school. So I was actually a professional musician. So when I went to undergrad, I was a professional cellist. So that was a full-time job in itself because I was already
Mhm.
taking a full load of 23 hours per semester. So
Yeah.
that I wanted to add on this culinary thing. So I took it for 0 credit. I fell in love with the chef. She let me take all the classes without actually signing up for them. So I was in the kitchen with all the students. So they all thought I was in a culinary program. But I was actually in a music program. And our culinary instructor, Chef Shelley, she was actually a pastry chef. So I was always drawn to that because at that time I had a terrible sweet tooth. So I always wanted to make cakes and pies and cookies and all the things. But I learned culinary through her but she was a pastry chef. So
Mhm.
when I learned what was in food, I took it a step further after I graduated, and I went to Culinary Institute of America to do the pastry program there, and just to further my desire to learn about how to prepare pastry. So this is well before whole food plant-based eating, but
Yeah.
that's how I got into it. I really just did it because like I just need to know what's in foods. I know what to avoid or what I can cook for myself to have the flavor, but substitute ingredients so I can stop having to go to the hospital all the time for
Mhm.
using my EpiPen.
Yes, yes. Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah.
So now it kind of takes me into like why vegan?
Yeah.
Where did that shift come? Because that's a big shift.
Yeah. So I am Nigerian American.
Mm,
And a lot of the West African dishes now, post colonization, are just very, very meat heavy, even though originally they weren't. And growing up, I never really loved meat, and I always had an affinity for animals. And but I felt
mm,
like I had to eat meat. I liked chicken and fish, but I never was into like anything else. And I just didn't know. Every time I saw what I didn't even know what a vegan was. I never really heard heard this phrase. So anytime I saw a vegetarian, they just looked so scrawny and weak and malnutrition. So I was just like,
mm,
ugh. And then every time I saw them eating any kind of vegetarian food, they were always eating the very foods that at that time I was very allergic to. So I was like,
mm.
even if I wanted to do it, how could I? Because they're always eating mushrooms and nuts and bananas, and I can't have any of that at the time.
Oh,
So I thought. So I just like I thought I just did what I had to do and just eat the standard American diet and in the best proportions I knew how at the time, and it was making me sick. So one day my father and I watched this documentary that changed my life on a dime. I
mhm,
learned that hey, there is another way. I had no idea. None of my doctors or anybody in my healthcare team ever said it's really the food. Like it's
mhm,
the source of problem is really what you're putting in your body as fuel. And so when I watched the documentary, I literally went in my kitchen, took all the crap out, and
mhm,
started fresh. And then not expecting anything other than to gain energy because I had always had chronic fatigue my entire life. I just
mhm,
wanted to have some energy. I didn't care if I was morbidly obese. I didn't care if I still had all the diseases and all the stuff I had. I just needed some energy. That's all I
yeah,
was seeking.
yeah.
I had no idea by changing my lifestyle just by what I was putting into my body that literally everything I suffered with my entire life was completely eradicated. Completely eradicated.
You know what? That is, I really hope that people understand this because that leads me to a lot, probably most of the health issues that we have everything to do with what we eat. And I'm going to tell you, I know you're right. I mean, you are so certified. But whenever I came over to start to see your classes and participate in your classes, I was not a vegan. In my meditation group, probably about 4 weeks or 3 weeks into your classes, my meditation group did a challenge for 7 days not to eat gluten, dairy, sugar, and alcohol. So for 7 days, I took that out of my diet. And amazingly, the pain in my knees and the pain in my lower back, I have a little arthritis there. That's what they said. And so in 7 days, I noticed a difference. I noticed it was marked. So I was like, I would do anything not to have pain in my knees because I play pickleball. I'm active. And I
Oh,
was just like, I got to play pickleball. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep going on with not eating the dairy. And boom, here we are. The pain, I mean, so I want people to really pay attention to what you're saying, that a lot of these medicines and a lot of things that the doctors are telling us, if we just change our diet, obviously, it
yeah,
could solve some, it could produce some better health outcomes.
a
Is
hundred
that correct?
percent, 100%, 100%.
Yes.
And because I suffered for so long,
Mhm.
I was a little bit angered, that this
Mm,
information was seemingly so obscure. It's like in
mhm,
your face, but it's not because it's just doused in so much what they want to call misinformation,
mhm,
which I like to call just marketing campaigns to
mhm.
confuse people or to put fear into people and be
Yes.
scared of things that are natural and wholesome for our bodies and to cast doubt. on the things that we should be putting into our bodies, and they have a marketing campaign to support things that make them money, but not things that are wholesome for us, that will actually heal us, not suppress symptoms, which is what
Yes.
our healthcare system in this country does. I was very, very upset by it. I'm like, I wasted a lot of my life. I could have accomplished even more than I had accomplished. And I said, okay, I'm going to make this my loving duty to put this information out there to all the people that I can, particularly within our community, because we're suffering at a higher rate than a lot of other people. And it's
Hmm.
unnecessary in most cases. Diabetes is like one of the easiest things to get rid of. You don't have to
Hmm.
have diabetes. You don't have to have kidney. You don't have to have these things that are very prevalent in populations of color. And the information is not out there. They keep telling you to eat the poison in moderation, and not that it's poison, that you need to
Yes.
really cut it out. And it's not made for our bodies, especially the way they process them today, especially
Mhm.
the way things are done today. So I enrolled in school to become a naturopathic doctor. And at the same time, I enrolled in school to become a doctor of nurse practitioner. So I was in the DNP program and the ND program simultaneously. And doing that, um, it was eye opening,
Mhm.
because our standard model, which is the nurse practitioner route, which is like just under an MD,
Mhm.
uh, they don't know. Everything is about, you have to start with the sick body. You have
Mhm.
that's the starting point, versus a naturopathic doctor. The starting point is a healthy body, free of
Mm.
disease, free of anything. And so just learning those things side by side, I was like, this system sucks.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
killing us. It's killing us.
Yes.
And I couldn't take it anymore. Only reason I signed up to do a DMP program, because I said when I have my clientele, I want to be able to take insurance, because in North Carolina, NDs, naturopathic doctors, are not allowed to be primary care practitioners in this particular state, because they have a lobbying force against it. So the
Mm.
closest state is like Virginia, where you can have an ND as your primary care. So I said,
Mhm.
well, I'll just do both so I can take insurance. And then the more and more I was learning, I was like, I can't do this. I don't want to learn how to suppress your symptoms. I want to learn how to heal the body. So I
Yeah.
dropped out of that program, but it was just really, really eye opening, that, that's why sometimes people go to doctor like, I feel off, and they run your labs like, well, everything's still in the normal, what they call normal range.
Mhm.
And then 6 months later you come back, now you've got full blown whatever. But when you first had an inkling something was off, they couldn't do anything, because you're not at a point on their system that says you're sick. It's for them to actually say, okay, well, let me give you this and give you that. And
Yes.
that's what I did not like about it. It's like, okay, when something's off and you feel something's off, something's off.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
we should address it.
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate you saying, I was angry. That's how I felt about God once I learned about who God really is. I was like, I'm mad. We've been bamboozled. But yeah, yeah. And the fear, I think sometimes, and at least for me, I'm just going to talk about me, and that's the reason why it's fear to freedom, because sometimes we get so attached to our values and our traditions, and traditionally, I mean, our food was good, but it just wasn't healthy. It really was
Correct.
not healthy. It was good, and it brought us all together. And so I think sometimes people think, at least I did, is kind of giving up those traditions. It made me like, what else is there going to be? You can create new traditions. I'm just so thankful for that. And I'm thankful for you for dropping out of that program. And I'm thankful for you investing in the community, actually in yourself first. So
Yeah.
now that you can bring it to the community, how much does culture have to do with the flavors that you incorporate into your meals?
Everything. Like I said, I'm from Nigeria, but I've lived here my whole life, most of my life. Well, the majority of my life I live in this country. And even though I've lived in this country, my mindset and everything is still Nigerian, Nigeria, Nigeria, Nigeria. And I grew up like that, and I've always was surrounded. And my high school I went to was an international high school. So it was very diverse. I've always had a very diverse group of friends. And then living in different countries and living in different parts of this country, I just always had a diversity of friends. And so that included a diversity of food. And when you're eating just a standard American diet, that people think there's such a diversity, really isn't. You're missing out on so many things, so many fruits and vegetables and flavor profiles. And so it was really important to me, not only, and I knew this was going to be a challenge for particularly people in the BIPOC community, to put out not only a vegan cooking class, but then from dishes from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew it was a challenge that, okay, they'll be open to it. If it tastes good and they know the health benefits, they'll be more receptive to say, you know what, I can incorporate this every now and then. I can see myself making these changes. And that is the part that's powerful, because everyone can't just do an about face and say, all right, today I'm cutting all that stuff out,
Mhm.
like a
Mhm.
person like my personality type can. A lot of personality types can't do that. Or
Mhm.
they're scared, like you said,
Mhm.
because of traditions or whatever. You can still eat the same traditional food and just replace certain ingredients, or like you said, make new traditions.
Yes. Yes.
So the class and everything I do, I lead with flavor first, because I know I'll turn them off if it's like, okay, here's a wheatgrass shot, and here's all the health benefits of it. May not taste great, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna be drinking this. I don't care how
That
healthy.
would be me.
And I would drink it just because it's healthy for me, and just don't care what the taste. But I know so many people are like, I just know I won't keep up with it. So
Yes.
I always challenge myself. So every week it's a challenge, because I'm like, oh, I want to try this for them. And I'm like, that's gonna be too spicy. Or let me figure out how not to make it so spicy, or let me try to add this flavor to it so it can be more palatable to an American palate. And so that's why I think through, and I hope that they'll like it. Because every week I'm like a little bit, I'm like nervous every week. I'm like, I don't know how it's gonna go.
Really?
Every week. Oh my God.
What?
Every week for 3
Oh
years
my
now.
goodness, you are so amazing. I can't
Oh,
even see the fear. You do lead with
oh,
flavors. I'm gonna tell you because I was not gonna give up cheese. I'm like, it's just that's why I went into this vegetarian. Like, okay, I can give up meat, but I'm not giving up cheese. I love cheese. I like to go and taste it. I'm from Washington, D.C., and we have the Easter market, and there is a cheese counter, and you can taste cheese from all over the world there. So that's kind of what my experience is. But yeah, yeah, you lead with flavors and you made cheese taste good to me. So there's an alternative. I'm so happy about that. Okay, so here's the question, and this is important for everyone because affordability, being a vegan, eating organic, eating those things cost. And so, given the times that we are in and the times that, maybe some people don't, they're struggling between healthcare and food and all of these things and that could produce fear. What am I going to, how can I spend my money? Please tell people how affordable, how they can switch over from the standard American death diet.
yeah.
And yeah, yeah, how they can switch over and it's still affordable.
The sad diet. Yes, I love this question. So Deb, thank you for asking that. The vegan diet, and I usually let me just stop or step back. I really do not use the word vegan. I kind of detest the word vegan.
Mhm.
It brings things to mind. So people who are eating lots of animals, lots of standard American food, they hear vegan, they automatically think cardboard, no flavor, or expensive, or whatever they think, right? And just saying vegan does not mean healthy, because like I've said many times,
Mhm.
Oreos are vegan, Twizzlers are vegan, potato chips are vegan, French fries are vegan. All these things are vegan, but are they necessarily healthy for the body?
Mhm.
No. So I like to say a whole food plant-based diet. That's
Okay.
what I prefer to say. Doesn't mean I don't have some vegan days, okay?
Mhm.
It doesn't mean I wouldn't have a Beyond Burger every now and then or something like that. But I eat a whole food plant-based diet. That's why my skin it radiates, it comes from the inside out, because of what you put in your body. So that's the first thing. Um, so in terms of affordability, there's nothing more affordable than a whole food plant-based diet. When you take out the meat, which is very expensive, when you take out the cheese, and a
Mhm.
former cheeseaholic here, okay, which is very expensive.
Expensive, yes.
Okay, those meat and cheese are the most expensive things you can put in your cart. Okay, so now you've taken that out your cart. Now you're replacing it with whole plant foods. And the
Mm.
reason why the vegan diet is labeled as very expensive is because people are trying to still eat the same unhealthy foods, just in a veganized way. So now you're eating processed foods that are packaged and they're expensive.
Yes.
So you're still eating the same crap, for lack of a better word, because it is crap.
I
Still
love the
eating
crap
the same
word.
crap, yeah, but just veganized. So then that's pricey. And when you're eating it non-vegan, it's still pricey. And the part that people always forget, the food that you're eating on a standard American diet is subsidized. Okay.
Mm.
Getting a cheeseburger for 99 cents. Think about that. A cow had to be uh uh in gestation, it had to be born, it had to be raised, it had to be fed, it had to be watered, all the things. And then when it's slot, all that, you don't get that for 99 cents a pound. You don't, it doesn't work like that. The government subsidizes these foods.
Mm,
Okay. So it's
mm,
not even on par. So
mm,
if you're not trying to do a swap of saying, okay, I'm not going to have a Whopper, I'm going to swap it with a Beyond Burger. Okay,
mhm,
now now that's more expensive, right? Because the
mhm,
Beyond Burger is not subsidized like the cheeseburger is, the
mhm,
cow burger is.
mhm,
So when
mhm,
you're taking that out and you're saying, I'm going to eat fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, whole grains,
mhm,
nuts and seeds, that you have so much more money. And then you're buying them in an organic way. Your shopping bill still will be significantly less than if you had the meat, the cheese, the processed food, the boxed cereals, all the refined sugary stuff, all that stuff that's super expensive. You won't have that in your cart. So it's so much, buying a bag of beans. It's one of the cheapest things you can do. So it's full of protein. It has all the
mhm,
things you need. It is the cheapest diet. So when
mhm,
you're trying to switch over, affordability should not be an issue. What I would say could be an issue would be accessibility.
mm.
We have a lot of food
Yes.
deserts, particularly in the Charlotte metro area, which is why I host my cooking class in a food desert, specifically for the community to have access to organic, fresh foods.
Mhm,
That's the reason why I do that and go out to food desert communities, because it's an accessibility issue, because you don't see, if you're only shopping at Dollar General for most of your groceries, right? How healthy is that overall? Because you're eating, everything's in a can, everything's in a package, everything's frozen. So that's more of the issue versus the affordability if you're actually eating a whole food plant-based diet.
Well, if you think about it, though, at the end of the day, it is less expensive because eating that way then produces negative health outcomes. And that's where it becomes expensive. So if we just switch our thinking to think about the outcomes and how we are saving. And you are right. When I met some of my friends over when we moved to Panama and we met some friends there, uh, and they were moving to Costa Rica. And let me tell you, they had the gallons, couple of gallons of beans. That's it. They were vegan and vegetarian, or vegetarian. I don't know if they were vegan, but I know I saw beans and I thought, that's I can remember taking all their beans, packing it up. But chef, listen to me. I did remember I told you. Now this is going to lead me into the next question, but about how important it is to prepare your meal. So I was that one that was going like, okay, so I'm not going to eat meat. Now I'm going to go and get like the frozen burgers that's already made because I just don't enjoy cooking. Let's rewind. I enjoy cooking now. I did not enjoy cooking when I came to your class. I'm like, I'm going to a cooking class because I need to feel this. I need to enjoy this. Chef, I cut on the music. My ancestors come forth and I start
Yes.
cooking. Yes. And I am enjoying it. I made a mushroom black bean burger
Ooh,
from
yeah.
scratch. Yes, it was so good. I gave the recipe to my meditation sisters, and they're all like, "Oh, this is so good." So preparing the meal really helps. You said yes. You told me you were like, "No, no, you don't." Once you get out of the can with those beans, you're never gonna go back. I soaked my beans, and they are just so good. They
So
are so
good.
good. Thank
So
you
good.
for yes. Thank you for all of that. So I want to know I want you to tell people how important it is for meal prepping.
Mm. So I like to start with this saying, if you don't make time for health, disease will make time for you.
Mm,
And that can be taken in so many different ways. Now, people say they don't have time. You make time for things that are important, and health has to be prioritized. So there are some people that don't know how to cook, which I think everyone should know how to cook. Like in my culture, men and women learn how to cook. They always
mhm,
say, don't leave your stomach in a woman's hands, because if she's mad
mhm,
at you, then you're gonna be hungry, right? So both boys and girls learn how to cook and do all the domestic chores
mhm,
equally. And then when you're going to marriage, then you divide those chores. So the woman
mhm,
tends to take on the domestic, but the man can do it. So I always say that. So you don't make time for health, disease will make time for you. and you have to prioritize. So if it's a money issue, then you absolutely should just meal prep. And meal prep has been this thing that's kind of taken over. So you feel like you got to make 6 things of this and 6 things of that and all that. Make batches of things. Whenever you do cook, cook extra and freeze leftovers. Make
Mm-hmm.
casseroles and put them in the freezer. So when you don't want to, you're tempted to run through the drive-through, you say, you know what? I made that casserole. It's in the freezer. I can just put that in the oven. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Making extra of whatever it is you're going to do. Taking that time. I take it as self-love, self-care, that I'm investing back into myself by saying, okay, before I go to bed, I'm going to soak these beans. Or before I go to bed, I'm going to just do this little thing. You can start with one little thing. And then if you have a little bit more disposable income and you're like, look, I get it, but I just really don't want to use my time that way. Like I might say I might have the time, but I really prefer to have a housekeeper come and clean my house every week. Right. If I feel like I want to do that, you can also prepare, you can purchase meal prep services too. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do it yourself, even though you should, so you really knows in your food, but you can also hire that out. So it just depends on where you are on the socioeconomic scale, how you're going to prioritize it. But regardless of saying, and then if you have children, you're teaching them at a young age how to eat and showing them what is important, because what's happening with the children today, they're all overweight.
Mm-hmm.
They are sick all the time. They're always tired. You don't see kids running out having lots of energy anymore. They're always talking about, I'm tired. And it's just they're eating crap all day. They're eating Takis and
Mm-hmm.
drinking soda all day long. And so then it's like well, they're kids. Well, when does a child learn how to eat? So when they
And
become an adult, then they're overweight and sick, and now they're trying to learn how to do it because they weren't taught and weren't held accountable to do that growing up. So I think leading by example by saying, you know what, as a family, we're going to do this. I'm going to batch prep the whole grains. Just do the things that would take a long time. If you just have a thing of brown rice in your fridge and you have like a salad bar in your fridge, you're more likely to grab that. You
yeah,
know,
I totally agree. And that would probably that I'm sure that would be another podcast for me, because the foods that children eat impacts their educational outcomes as well. It impacts their attention. And I've seen it, having retired from Charlotte Mecklenburg schools in elementary as a school social worker. I definitely have seen that. So you are absolutely right. We need to really, really consider all of the allergies, kids that are sickly, can't breathe, have nasal, have everything.
yes,
And I can see what they're eating. I know what they're eating. And I also know that some of the their socioeconomic status too. So I know that some of the parents don't have the money, but I think that they do once they just are educated about it.
yes,
We just
exactly.
have to be informed about it. So yes, I totally agree with you. What do you find most rewarding about being a chef?
Wow. I would say the most rewarding, every week I'm completely overwhelmed at the cooking class, because people have come to me, they're like, I'm not vegan, but I made these small changes and my A1C dropped by such and such. Or
Mm,
I was having this chronic pain and it's gone. Or I've lost 14 pounds, those kind of things. Like, even though I'm not doing everything, I'm doing a
mhm,
couple of things and I'm seeing results. And more importantly, I'm feeling the result. And so
mm,
just knowing that the chef part is just a vehicle to help people have a healthier way of living from a
mhm,
natural approach is the most rewarding thing to me that keeps me going. Because honestly, even though I've gone to culinary school, I've done all those things, I don't even think of myself in terms of being a chef. I think of myself as a holistic practitioner that
mhm.
understands how to navigate a kitchen and create recipes. And I just don't, I suffered for 20, 30 years, and I just don't want people to suffer needlessly. So that's really the motivation.
Okay, that's beautiful. We thank you for being motivated because you have definitely changed my life. I know when I came up to say, guess what? The pain is gone. The da 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 da. You were just like
You have
in
me in
tears, girl.
tears.
Yes, yes. And I recently observed a testimony from one of your clients online on your Facebook, and she was a cancer patient.
Yeah.
And I saw that, and she was just talking about how cancer is not in her body because of the fact that she incorporated what your health practices, your cooking practices. That made me feel so good. We can heal our own selves. So I want to ask you, tell me what's the most rewarding? What is the most challenging
Ah,
about being a chef?
a couple things. It's a time commitment. Okay, so you have to really love it because you have to do the grocery shopping. You have to go to multiple grocery stores. You have to think of the recipes. You have to write it up online and do blog posts and emails and all that. Then you've got to actually prep everything, prepare everything, make it look presentable. It's a lot of time, so it's not something for the faint of heart for sure. So that's the one kind of downside, because if you have a very busy life like me and my husband do, we have 5 businesses, so it's not a lot of playtime. I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
playtime, and so I'm up very early, and I'm careful about my day and what I'm agreeing to. I'm vested. I'm a vested owner into the restaurant at Love and Action Cafe, so that takes up a bulk of my time too. So that is definitely a downside. The other downsides is when I see people suffering, but they are so indoctrinated by what their primary care physician or specialist has said, and they make them scared of things that are naturally good for them. They're scared.
Mhm.
They're scared to even consider that they can come off medication. They're scared to consider that they can have a life that is full of joy and actually have enjoyment,
Yeah.
and quality of life is really what I'm referring to, that they can actually have a quality of life again. Or they just write off, say, "Oh, I'm just getting older. It's what happens." No, that only happens in this country.
Yes.
This country, as you age, you get worse. Everywhere you go, other countries, they get better. Okay, they're enjoying the golden years of their life. It's not here where you just become sick and die, and they've been bought and sold a lie. And so that is the most challenging part of seeing the light when the light's not on in somebody's eyes, and they just have accepted that, I'm just fading out, and that's what life is. And that it really truly breaks my heart. And I just try to get through gently and say it doesn't have to be like this. It really doesn't.
I totally understand you. I totally get you with that. Just practicing as a social worker and a mental health professional, some that would break my heart too when people couldn't see that here's your freedom right on the other side of this domestic violence relationship or drugs or whatever it is, whatever it was. So I totally understand that. And it is a fear. It is. I have over the years I have sold different types of products, health products, and they're good. I never invest or engage myself in anything that I wouldn't use for my own self. So I knew
Absolutely.
that they were good products, but yeah, I've had aunts and friends and they just have a bag of medicine and that's what the doctor said. So that's what, and we have parents that are from that generation. If the doctor said it, it's true. Right. And
Yeah,
so
they think doctors are gods, and is law, and it's very disturbing. Like my father, he used to be before he changed. He was of that. Well, the doctor said this. I'm like, first of all, especially having being currently in medical school and having gone through the other medical school, their curriculum is bought and sold too. It's bought and sold by the pharmaceutical industry. They are writing the curriculums. They're teaching them about the drugs, the pharmacology of things. That's number one. It's a business. Okay, this
mhm,
is not to save your life. This is a business. They don't get money when those beds aren't full. They don't get
mm,
paid. Okay, so that's you have to be aware of that, and you have to also remember your doctor works for you.
mhm,
Your doctor works for you, and if your doctor is not giving you the services and the quality and the time that you need, then you need to get another doctor. I'm
yes.
not anti-doctor. I'm not anti-medical doctor, anti the allopathic system as a whole. I just don't use it for healthcare management because that's not what it's for. It's for emergent care. If I fall off a tree and break a bone, you better take me to a hospital, right? If I want to heal my body, that's not what they do. That's not what they're learned. It's not what it's for. It's for symptom suppression. That's
Mm,
what that's what the whole system is based upon. So it's like whatever your main symptom is, okay, we'll give you something for that. It'll suppress that, and then but it's going to yield something else, and you'll take
mhm,
something for that, and then
mhm.
it keeps going. All right. So
It's a
the
cycle.
doctor works for you. And that's when I tell people that it's almost like they're scared. I'm like, you should not fear your doctor. You should not be grateful that your doctor gave you an extra 2 minutes to counsel you. They work for you. And if they're
Mhm.
not working for you, then you need another health care team because they should work
Yes.
for you.
I Man, you are given so much power, so much powerful information. And I hope that the audience, whoever is watching, feels empowered by your message. and by this information. So, how do you think cooking and sharing meals plays a role in building community and building connections with people?
I think in most cultures, and people come together around food, and it's supposed to
Mhm.
be an enjoyed shared experience because everyone needs to eat. Okay, so
Mhm.
coming together around food that people actually enjoy and can fellowship and get to know one another and talk about their days and their feelings, whatever, that's building community, that's building relationship, and that's fundamental. And when you
Yes.
look back on a lot of memories are associated with people eating,
Mhm.
together.
Mhm.
So doing that in a way where you can actually be feeding your body something that's good for your body, that makes that time even more special. So that's
Mhm.
why I think this is so powerful to do this because we're change agents. So me keeping this information for myself helps no one, but me sharing this information, and you go back, Deb, and you do it with your family and you tell your friends, and now it's making a bigger impact. So
Yes.
that's why that's so 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 important because one person can't do it by themselves. We have to do it together.
Yes, yes, we get further together whenever we are in harmony with each other. And I really believe that we're moving towards that. I see that in people. I'm just observing now, and I see that we are coming together to build this new found, experience for ourselves. And
Yes.
that's the reason why I wanted to start this channel. I'm a social worker by nature and by profession, but one of the beautiful things about social workers is that we're resourceful. And I have always been resourceful, and bringing good resources to people is just what I do. So, yeah, yeah, I'm thankful for that. All right, so I'm going to go here. We're going to talk about poop for a second.
Woo!
Poop.
My favorite topic.
Yes, I know it is. And goodness, man, I have learned so much about poop and urine in your classes. I just, I have, girl, and this has been so good for me because I really did. What color should our poop be? Please tell the audience what color should the poop be.
Brown like a Hershey chocolate bar.
I love it. I love it. And just expand a little bit on our bowel movements and how they are impactful, how we need to take a look back there to see if there's something going on in the body we can tell from our stool. Is that true?
That's absolutely true. I'll take it. I'll go higher, and then I'll zoom back in. If you think about any time there's like an archaeologist or paleontologist, and like they go back and they look at the stool of those animals, and it tells them so much about the health of those animals, what they were actually consuming, what conditions they were living in, what kind of uh, uh, um, environmental factors they were dealing with is all in the stool. So that's how we've gone be able to go back and look at things from years and years and millennia ago. The
Mhm.
same thing applies to us. So when you do a stool analysis, it will tell you what's happening in your second brain, which is your gut microbiome, and what type of gut bacteria are being fed and which ones aren't,
Mhm.
and what you're eating, and that will tell us everything we need to know about what's going on in your body. It tells us
Mhm.
everything. And
Mhm.
so if you're not doing like the actual stool analysis, or you're not a doctor to be able to read the stool analysis report, you can look at what's going on with your stool when you're actually having a bowel movement to know the quality of your body and your bowel movement. So for example, if we said the color, it should not be tan, it should not be white, it should not be yellow, it should not be black or red, it should not
Mhm.
be those things unless you consume beets or something like that. It should not be that. It should be very easy to pass. You should not be able to sit there and read a book or scroll on Instagram. You should not have time for that because it should just pass naturally. You should not be pushing or straining. It should,
Mhm.
by the time you finish urinating, your bowel movement should have eliminated itself at the same time. It should have
Mhm.
no smell or virtually no smell. It should not have an odor. Okay. No one should be able to come in the bathroom right behind you like, woo, they blew it out. Okay. That should not happen. Okay. 'Cause that means something's been fermenting and decaying inside your stomach. That's why it smells so bad, and it shouldn't. And you should be eliminating every day. So if you eat a lunch and a dinner every day, you should be having a bowel movement at least twice a day. At
Mhm.
least at a bare minimum, everyone should be eliminating once per day. But if you're
Mm,
eating 3 major meals per day, then you should be eliminating 3 times per day.
mhm,
Um, and so that's your bowel transit time. Ideally, it should be somewhere between 14 and 22 hours. So like 18 is like the gold standard of your bowel transit time. If you're not aware what your bowel transit time is, you can eat like a shelled sunflower seed or a kernel of corn, and swallow it. And then however long from the time you swallow to the time it comes out, that's your bowel transit time. And so if you're going into days or you're going into over 24 hours, there's some stuff we need to get going. You know, you make sure you eat enough fiber, make sure
mhm,
you're properly hydrated so that it can pass, so that the peristalsis can happen and actually push those things out. There's just so much that your bowel movements tell you. You know, if you're wiping and wiping, if you have to keep wiping and wiping, that is not good. You should only have to wipe once, and it should be clean when you wipe that one time. It should
mm,
not be stuff still there. It's just so much that your bowel movements tell you about the current state of your health and the health of your microbiome that we should all be paying attention to, so that you
mm,
can take it to your gastroenterologist or you can take it to your primary care doctor, whomever you're seeking for things, and say, hey, my stool is tan color, and that tells me I may not be absorbing fats or having some type of bowel duct issue. Like, I want to explore that, what's going on, and I'm also having these symptoms associated with it, so that you're empowering yourself. Don't just blindly turn things over to your doctors like most people do. Say, I'm experiencing this, I see this, and I see this. What do you think? Because
mm.
again, they work for you, and they should be finding solutions for you.
Whoa. uh, I love the poop story. And you know what? Just because we're running out of time, I would love to have you back here. I have a litany of questions and more information, but
Yeah,
I
I
thank
love
you
it.
so much. Oh, good, good,
Oh, I
good.
love
And
it.
I did not know you were a vested owner in the Love and Action Cafe. So great, great. Thank you for telling that. So I just want everybody to know that you are not only giving us a culinary journey through all of the different countries at your cooking class that's happening every Sunday at the Action Cafe, but you are giving us healthy culinary education. And I am all about education. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
But once you know better, you can do better. I want to ask you before we start to wrap it up, what are you most excited about in life right now?
Wow. Um, Coming on board as a minority partner with the restaurant, I'm excited to see how the restaurant could continue to change and evolve, so we can be more of a change agent in the community. Because, like I said, we're nestled within a food desert, so that is very exciting to me now, and that's taking up a lot of my time. I'm also been able to cater different events, and so like I catered today for the Women's Business Center of Charlotte and do some stuff at UNCC, and they had no idea the last time they hired me that I was a vegan chef. They didn't know the food was vegan at all. And so they're like, "Oh, we weren't trying to have vegan." I was like, "But why did you reach out to me then?" They're like, "We didn't know,"
This
because I don't do anything else, right? So seeing that impact, and now I have a 12-week contract with them. I'm now the plant-based chef for Daniel Stowe Botanical Gardens, and so now when people go out there, they have healthy, delicious plant-based options. So just seeing how, if they're not able to come to the class for the education piece, which I find to be the most important, they're able to at least experience quote unquote vegan food in a different way, that's just not your average, like, here's your cheeseburger that's vegan, here's your french fries that are, loaded french fries that are vegan, like the junk food stuff. They can have a wholesome experience with it that they find enjoyable. So seeing that take a hold is very exciting to me. And getting more involved with my own YouTube channel to reach more people is really important to me, because you can only fit so many people into a room for the
Mhm,
for the culinary education. So just finding other ways to reach people, to say, hey, it doesn't have to be like that. And I don't push veganism on people. I'm not saying that you have to be completely vegan, even though I think that is the best route. But can you be healthy and still consume a small portion of animal protein? Yes, absolutely you can. Right. But can you alleviate that, or eliminate that? Yes, you absolutely can, and be completely healthy. And it's not difficult. So just demystifying veganism, and having the food options out there for people to try it on their own, and having the education piece, those are the most, just expanding that is what I'm most excited about and putting all of my effort into.
Well, you deserve it, and we deserve you. We really do. And we do. The world deserves you because we are here trying to figure it out here on earth, right? And
Yes.
so, synchronicity is important to me. There are no accidents in life. It's not an accident that I ended up at the Love and Action Cafe. And I appreciate your partnership. I would love for you to come back. I have
Yes.
brought many people to the vegan cooking class, and people that I just met, like in my pickleball or meditation, and they have shown up and they continue to come. And that is what excites me. So we have something special coming up Saturday. Okay, if you are here in Charlotte, the surrounding area, Charlotte, North Carolina, it's 420 on Saturday.
Yep.
Everybody knows what 420 is, right? Okay. Well, we are going to be having our pasta extravaganza. You want to tell them about it?
Yes, on 420, we're having all you can eat pasta extravaganza, sure. At the restaurant, we are offering 5 different pasta dishes. That's all you can eat, such as long as you dine in, and that will be served alongside kale salad and cornbread. So you can come and eat all that you want. And for those that actually partake in activities associated with 420, you have the option to get your pasta infused for additional cost. But you have that option there too. We'll have 420 vendors outside of the restaurant, in the parking lot that you can go by and get some of their awesome products. And then you come inside and just relax and eat some um, delicious veganized plant-based pasta dishes. So we're going to have rasta pasta, chicken alfredo, lasagna, uh, basically spaghetti, but fusilli bolognese,
Mhm.
and chicken
Chickpea pasta.
noodles with mushrooms and peppers and onions.
Yes, we are. I'm hungry. And we're going to be happy. It'll be
Yes.
infused if you want it to be infused. So you can eat and be happy and merry. Your stomach, your heart will love you for it. Trust me. And we will love you for supporting the Love and Action Cafe. I don't want to end this conversation, but I know you have to go on with your day so we can share you with the world. And I really like to thank you so much. You have really changed my life. You've changed my heart. You've changed the way I think about preparing my meals. I am doing it on my own. I'm not going to stop it because I feel a difference inside of my body. I really do feel a difference. And I feel a difference in my heart. I want you to know that because yoga has helped me, meditation. I have just decided that I want to honor me in
Oh,
the most extreme way, holistically. So I am honoring myself today. I am moving from fear to freedom. I'm not being afraid of anything. And when I do feel the fear or if it pops up, I just step back and look at it, analyze it, and be like, okay, you don't live here. Let's just keep it pushing.
that's
Right.
right.
So I am so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Is it anything? Listen, I want you to follow Chef. You look into my the show notes, and you will have every way that you can follow. You offer a lot of services that people would benefit from. Can you tell me just before we go about the delayed allergy test? I think that's something that people would want to know about.
Yeah, so I do offer a number of services through the Health and Wellness Clinic. So yes, the delayed food allergen is one of the popular ones. As a person who used to have a ton of food allergies, you know the things you have an immediate reaction to, but there are things that you can eat that your body will have a delayed reaction to, and you will make no connection to what you ate yesterday is why your big toe is hurting today. You wouldn't make that connection, or why you're feeling emotionally drained today is based on what you ate 2 days ago. You have no idea. So when you have a delayed food allergy test, it takes the top 100, approximately 90 foods that are in the standard American diet, test your blood against it for about a month, and to see what your body reacts to that causes a lot of inflammation and a reaction, a negative reaction in the body. And it's customized to you. And it says, okay, this is what your body is saying we're not happy with when you consume this particular food. And so you have the option to take that out of of what you're consuming, and you will see how quickly you feel so much better. And
Mhm.
then at a later date, a few months, if you want to reintroduce the food after you've had given your body a chance to heal, then
Mhm.
there's strategies to do that. So I love that test for people. I highly recommend that for sure.
I recommend that people, I love technology. I'm going to have a guest on here next week about technology. He loves it. And I was just afraid of it, right? So he made an impact. I love technology because everyone from around the world can tap right into the Naija Goddess right here on YouTube. Follow her YouTube channel. She has amazing recipes. And listen, you all are missing out at the Love and Action Cafe on Sundays. Every Sunday from 3 to 5, we are there learning how to cook and how to live, how to use our food as medicine to heal ourselves. And we are doing it in a really, really amazing way. It's fun and it's engaging, and we are learning so much. So please come out to join us. Follow Chef Naija. I love you so much.
Love you
I
too,
really
Deb.
appreciate you and you coming to the channel to share your wisdom. Oh my gosh. And I will see you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. I hope that you had a great time here with us today at the Fear to Freedom Project. Here is where we are taking a look at fear and we are pushing it out of our lives. There's no reason for us to be afraid. There is no reason. God has created this human experience for us to enjoy and to live and to be here for a long time. So I thank you. I appreciate you for listening to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.